Look, man, the way you come to class, we live. But how you come to class, you come to class like you come to class. Look, this how it sound outside. You still here. Pass the test, man. No, I'm telling you, pass the test, man. You did. Pass that test, man. You got it. I tell you one thing, you gonna know what kind of man you are this year. Hell yeah. Shit, no doubt.
He been coming at me every which way too.
Hey.
I've been winning them.
But I'm gonna tell you,
winning my battles.
All them demons coming at you, man, you know you're on the right path.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because just because you in the truth don't mean it ain't gonna stop.
Right.
It's gonna get worse.
It got worse.
Yeah. Because they like, oh, you really think you finna do something? They really gonna come at you. You know what I mean? So you going through everything you going through, man. Watch how strong you come out. Watch next pass on.
Yeah.
Watch how proud of yourself you're gonna be. You did. You're gonna have an awesome year, man. But just don't give up. It ain't 80% ain't good enough. 100% ain't good enough. 150. Did. Shalom, Israel. It's the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding Junior YAHANNA. This is Officer Nashak Ma'atha. We're about to get this Tuesday evening class started, man. Did you have any questions, Tawad?
Tawad, this is the question that you had.
Cool. Stay on that YouTube for me just to check the chat. A brother had a question last week about Moses and why he was married to I think Miriam and Aaron was trying to check Moses on why he was married to a heathen or married to an Ethiopian woman. You know, same thing. We're gonna break those scriptures down, find out the real spirit of the scripture, what it's really talking about. And then, man, we're gonna get into the Venezuelan crisis. And if anybody knows about what's going on in Venezuela, it's been going on for a while. But what I want to touch on is how far it dates back and how America plays a role. Man, they always got their hand in on destroying a country, and most of the time it's the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? In this case, Venezuela being Asher, the only time Venezuela really had, well, I can say in a couple of decades past, the last decade rather, is when Hugo Chavez was over, and he was actually trying to level the playing field because at one time only the rich or the middle class was benefited. So we gonna get into that exactly what America did and they did do that. They were a huge part of Venezuela going through this collapse that they're going through, and we're gonna see why. And at the end, did you get those? What's up?
No, go ahead.
Oh, did you get those ones I text? I hope I didn't just send one. You got one? Man, hold up. Give me 1 second. I got to take care of something. We're going to be right back live. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Can't believe I did that. Running my damn mouth. Yeah, man. Hey, you my brother, man. Ain't no way in hell. I ain't finna let you fall. If you fall because you wanted to,
right.
I'm not gonna let you.
Right.
I'm gonna let you fall. So that's what we here for. You should have got 2 of them. You get those 2? All right, we back up. Salaki, I had to get some information, man. Get these articles correct. Get 1 or 2? Just got 1? For real? Damn. Well, you got a total of 2. Hope you got a total of 3. Yeah, we just got one. Give me 1 second. Hugo Chavez, you should have got the truth about Venezuela. You ain't get that though. Okay. Let's try it again. Oh shit, I'm saying it to myself. Salaki. Okay. Okay, that's what it was, man. Salaki. I was sending it to my fucking self. I mean, Salaki. Man, Salaki, excuse me, y'all, man. I'm shocked by thoughts going through a thing. He get his mind right. All right. You got 3. All right, Salaki, man. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. All right. Okay. So, you got that. Be able to break that down. Okay. First, what I wanted to touch on before we get into the Venezuela thing, first thing I want to touch on is what was really going on with Moses and when Miriam and Aaron was basically trying to check him, man. You know. So let's go through that first. We're gonna hit Numbers 12 and 1. If you can pull that for me, Trooper. We can get into that. And we'll dive into this Venezuelan thing, man. Because man, the white man's the devil the Bible speaks of, man.
Right.
All the stuff that he does to our people. You know, the Venezuelan people, our people, man, they're very confused because they done got caught up with that middle class and poor class. But we gonna get into it. I'm gonna stay on topic here first. Like again though, we're gonna hit up, see what's going on with Moses and why Miriam and Aaron. We're gonna really see the spirit, this breakdown. We're gonna see the spirit of what these scriptures are really talking about with Miriam and Aaron questioning Moses. You can start whenever you want to. Make sure you call it out for the people. Make sure they hear.
Numbers chapter 12, verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman.
So in verse Numbers 12 and 1, we're looking at Miriam and Aaron are basically questioning Moses. It's like, how you gonna marry this Ethiopian woman? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they coming at him like they trying to check him. But what they don't understand is that at the time that Moses met this woman, he wasn't even in the truth yet. Right. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that people don't understand. And Moses wasn't really in the truth until he started really following the Most High and doing what he was telling him to do. All right. So let's make that clear from the jump so you can understand the spirit of these scriptures, what they really trying to say. Okay, let's go ahead and read.
Verse 2. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Have he not spoken by us, also by us? And the Lord heard.
Now, let's see. Yeah, said, yeah. Now they basically saying like, is the Lord only talking to Moses?
Right.
Like he don't talk to us. So they're showing you right there like that hate. You know, they slick hating on Moses. It's not even really about the Ethiopian woman. It ain't even about her. It's just the fact that like if it was about her, then why was this said in this next scripture? They really hating on the Most High choosing Moses to speak to, because he wasn't speaking to them. Right. He's speaking to Moses. Keep reading.
Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
Now, do you know what it means to be meek? That's the first thing we need to cover.
Salaki. Meek would be, he was just, I want to say humble, but I want to say he wasn't real like aggressive.
Right. Well, I would say he's just one of them type cats. Like Moses' demeanor was just like,
quiet, just like a quiet dude.
yeah, he wasn't the type, like, you know how it talks about Christ with he's an austere man, you know, face was like lightning, you know what I mean? He was like real serious, like, you know, like General Muhammad. There ain't nobody you just finna walk up on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got brothers like that, and then you got brothers that are kind of like, when they say meek, it's just kind of like, you know, they peaceful to themselves. They look like, you know, they wouldn't harm a fly, really. You know what I'm saying? But it's like Moses had that type of demeanor, and I won't say he wouldn't harm a fly, but he was real like a cool cat. But he had that type demeanor by the scriptures saying that he was meek. But really, you gotta, for a person to be like that, and for you to be trying to check them, you really got some kind of hidden agenda behind that. This, like, why all of a sudden, it's like, this is brother and sister. Why y'all checking him? Is it really over this rib? Or is it because the Most High is dealing with him and you kind of want that? They see it as power. Moses is seeing it like, the Lord talks to the Most High talks to me. I have orders. I carry them out. I tell the people. They see it like it's power. So then they're jealous of the power. All right?
So like, I was just going to say something I just noticed while we were just reading, that they started off with the Ethiopian wife, right, as the reason.
Right.
You know.
You see it changing, don't you?
But the hating part is what the Most High heard.
Exactly.
He didn't hear
read that. I'm glad you caught that. Read that.
All right. I'm gonna start at 1 and just go down to 2.
All
right. Verse 1.
No, you can just read. Just read 2. Yeah.
And they said, "Hath the Lord indeed only spoken only by Moses? Have he not spoken also by us?" And the Lord heard it.
Why is that?
Because that's really where their heart was in. It was in that part right there.
No, I mean, like, why did the Lord hear that? Because see, he didn't say nothing about him hearing nothing until they said that.
Until they said that.
So why would he hear that?
Because that was the evil. That was evil.
He's seen them hating on him.
Right.
He's the Lord. The
Most true intention.
Right. The Most High was like, see, he wasn't even about that real. You hating on my servant that's doing what he's supposed to do. Okay, you got my attention now. And that's not no good attention. You know what I'm saying? You don't want the Lord like that. You know what I mean? So keep reading, man. Read it 4.
Verse 4. And the Lord spoke suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Mary.
Now hold right there. Now through these verses, what have you noticed? The Lord usually, he speaks to Moses, right? We know that because that's who he's dealing with. That's the leader. So he speaks to Moses. And read 4 again.
And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Mary.
Now, what is that telling you?
That the Most High pissed off.
Because well, how you know that?
Because now he wanted all of them out here. He's like, I want all y'all to come out here and talk. Just talk to me. I don't just want Moses. I usually talk through Moses. Right. But I want all y'all to come out here right now.
Right. Because the scripture before that, what did it say?
He said that Moses.
That last part, what did it say about the Lord?
And the Lord heard.
So now the Lord hears it, and then read 4.
And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, unto Aaron, and unto Mary. Come out ye 3 unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they 3 came out.
Yeah. So the Lord wants to talk to you now. And this ain't no like, I need to talk to you so I can give you some order. No, bro. Because he didn't say nothing to you till you said some slick stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now we know that it's not about that Ethiopian woman.
Right.
That's not what it's about. Because then you gonna say in 2, have you not spoken also about us? Right. So now the Lord heard that, and it's mentioning Moses was very meek above all the men which are upon the face of the earth, man. You know, he wasn't trying to real peaceful type dude. You know, he wasn't no punk now. But we all know what Moses did. But he didn't have that type of demeanor, man, but they was taking advantage of that and trying to check it. So then we look at when it says the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, and come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. They three came out. So they come out, right? Okay, read 5.
Verse 5. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood on the door of the tabernacle.
So what does that mean? Did the Lord actually come down the pillar of the cloud? What would be a pillar of a cloud? Let me ask you that first.
A pillar of a cloud is just.
What's a pillar?
A pillar is like a tall.
Keep going.
You know, like you have on the porch. You know, those pillars that be on your porch.
Like a column.
They tall like a column.
Right. Okay, so then we looking at, and the Lord came down the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle. How does the Lord communicate with his people if he's not just speaking? How does he send messages?
Through the angels, sir.
All right, so now you know an angel just got sent down from the pillar of a cloud, chariot, all right? So now, just to make sure we understand what's going on. And go ahead, Salah.
And stood at the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam.
So they're called up, go ahead.
And they both came forth.
So they stepping up now, they know what's up. It's almost like when you call your kids from the back room at a certain tone in your voice, they like, oh, damn, we about to get our ass whooped. You probably didn't have that experience yourself from your mama.
It's like, it's like he called them by their middle name.
Yeah, or their whole name. So you know something is wrong.
Right.
All right, keep reading.
And he said, verse 6, and he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream.
Now, he's basically saying if there's a prophet among you that I'm talking to, then you should know because I'll be in your dreams talking to you. Keep going.
Verse 7, my servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house.
Who is what?
Who is faithful in all mine house.
So what was that, 7? Come, okay. So what is the Most High saying right here? What's the Lord saying? What's he trying to tell everybody?
He's trying to tell them that this is my guy. And y'all, if I wanted y'all to be my guy, I'd be calling y'all.
Exactly. So with Miriam, when we talked about Miriam and Aaron saying, well, what was that? It was like a question they stated. Let me go back.
In verse 2.
Yeah, go ahead and read that one more time. Just that last part, that question.
And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Have he not spoken also by us?
No, he hasn't.
God.
He deals with, that's what he's saying right here.
God.
That's why the Lord was like, what? What y'all? Okay. Go down there and tell him I said this and that. Sends that angel down there. And if the Lord is talking to you, you'll know it because he'll talk to you directly. He talked to Moses directly.
Salam. I just noticed something too. All right. And they just put that way. That's why they was thinking that because Moses was talking to them.
Keep going.
And talking to, and then they was able to talk to the rest of the congregation. That was the Most High talking to them.
Right. Yeah.
And Most High like, no, I'm dealing with Moses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Directly
with Moses. That's what.
Because let me tell you, even how when Moses was going to Egypt and doing all this stuff, right? For the Most High, he was talking to Aaron. If I ain't mistaken, Moses had a speech impediment. And he said, I think he told the Most High, like how am I gonna speak? Because I got like speech impediment. I think he stuttered or something like that. And actually Moses would talk to Aaron, and Aaron would speak. But it wasn't that the Most High was talking to Aaron. It's just he was talking to Moses, and Moses was telling Aaron what the Most High wanted. know what I'm saying? So again, we see the Most High saying, basically taking up for Moses, like, hey, I talk to him directly, man. I don't talk to y'all. Y'all shouldn't even be questioning, second guessing anything he's doing. If it's a problem, I'll deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep reading.
Verse 8, with him will I speak, mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold.
Now, what is he talking about when say similitude?
They're not going to talk to him like in parables and stuff.
Right. It's like a physical representation. He's how should I say? He's like he just well, read again.
With him I will speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the multitude and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
So basically, the Most High is saying, like we were saying earlier, he talks to him directly. It's not no dark speeches or like when he talks to him, like sometimes when the Most High talked to some of the leaders in the Bible, they had to kind of figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like metaphors, stuff like that. He talked now plain directly to Moses. All right? That's the best way to understand it. And he didn't. It wasn't no murmurs. Oh no, Salaki. What I want to say is read that last part. Not afraid.
Wherefore they were, Salaki.
Yeah, that's right. You start right there. My bad.
Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
So it's like, why are you talking in murmurs? Like, why you gossiping? Talking about some little some rib he got. He had her before he was even in the truth. Right. Before he even was really in the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like you coming to the U.P.K. and you watching classes, but you watching classes with a blunt in your mouth.
Right.
You ain't really in the truth yet. You trying to figure what's going on and if you gonna make that decision or not. You just now the truth is in your face. You ain't really accepted it yet.
It's a lot. So this pretty much would be like, I mean, I got two things up. I say the other one for later.
No, go ahead.
But one thing, this would be like you coming into the truth with a white girl.
Yeah.
Like you came in, you had a white girl in the world. You know, so you love white women and stuff all like that. Then boom, the truth hits you. Right. And, you know, you can't deal with white people no more.
Yeah, but you got one.
But you got a white breed.
Exactly.
So you got to keep that breed.
And say like now, you in the truth. The Most High is using you, man. You going to camp. You pass your officer's test. You an officer. You teaching. You speaking. And then somebody gonna say something slick about, yeah, he got a white girl.
Yeah, got you.
And the Lord like, what? What you just say?
Right. So
then, really, it ain't even about the white girl. It's just the fact that that brother is jealous of you because of your the role or the role that the Most High wants you to play and what He wants you to do is just different, and It's like a lot of responsibility, and he deals directly to you, and somebody is just jealous,
right?
And it's your sister and your brother,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
This is kind of like
some real life stuff. You know what I mean? Like to break this down, people understand like it's way beyond just like, man, Moses had an Ethiopian woman. Right. Yeah, he the one. Like, dude, you stupid.
I was just gonna say the part the part that I was gonna save for later. I'm gonna say it now.
Yeah,
if you notice, ain't nothing else been said about the Ethiopian woman. From the first verse, we all the way down in the 9th, in the 10th verse.
Yeah, right.
And
ain't nothing else talked
been
about
said about the Ethiopian woman.
Right.
Let you know it wasn't even about her at all.
So what was it about?
It's about them just hating.
They just hate. That's the spirit of it. Yeah. They just hating on their brother. Keep reading. Where we at? 8? No,
9.
Oh, Salaki, okay.
And verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed.
So what happened here?
the Most High pissed off and he just left.
And you had to remember the angel is speaking, so then the angel just goes back up. Right? Then he hits the chariot, he's out. Okay, go ahead.
So that pillar of the cloud, that's like a beam coming from the cloud down to the
in a sense, I don't want to get Star Trek like, you know what I mean? But it's a pillar of a cloud. So it's like chariot pops up, angel comes down. You know what I'm saying? So
in the verse 10, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle.
So we know the cloud left, the chariot left. Go ahead.
And behold, Miriam became leprous.
Whoa, what? Oh, hold up. Take your time with that. Say it again, start from the beginning.
And the cloud departed off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous.
Now, I got two questions for you. Why do you think Miriam had leprosy, which is what in our day? What would leprosy be like?
He turned into a white woman.
Right, so it kind of be like what's it called, vitiligo? Be kind of like that. Michael Jackson had. Right. The husband's like, bam, that's on it, right? So we know that. So why is Miriam got leprosy? Why was she hit with leprosy? Why the Most High hit her with leprosy?
I would say that because she probably the one who started all this.
Well, let's look what was said. Let's look at let's see. Trying to look at it. It really don't say, but it's in verse 1 of 12. But I'm gonna be real. Miriam was the one talking. She was the one talking evil about Moses. All right. As soon as Aaron seen that, you gotta imagine them together. If you want to read, if you're looking back to where you want to read that, you can. But you gotta understand that when they were standing together, Miriam was the one that brought this to attention. You know what I'm saying? She said she's like why you got this Ethiopian woman?
Right.
Aaron's there too, but she was the real reason why she was hating on her brother. So that's why the Lord struck her with that leprosy. She was talking evil about her brother. Then immediately when that happens, what does it say about Aaron?
And Aaron said unto Moses, at last, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not this sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
So what is he doing right now?
He got convicted about, and what was happening with Mary.
Right.
And was like, man, don't do my sister like this.
Yeah. And nothing to me too, because he looking like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there like, oh snap, she's white. So he's begging for forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Aaron said unto Salaki, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried.
Well, let's go to 12. Yeah. What let's read that again.
Verse 12. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb.
Now, why would you feel like you dead?
Salaki.
To have to be struck with leprosy like that?
Because it changes your appearance. And it like at the end, it's talking about like you come out of your mother's womb. Like when a baby born, you lighter. Then you actually you darken up as you go along.
Right.
So
So you look almost lifeless.
You can't. Can't.
Okay, so if you look like that, to be like, what do you think? Okay, once you now we under Moses now,
Right.
The Old Testament, all right. Now when Moses, Christ taught you how to deal with the law, and he taught you how to fight it in the flesh.
Right.
Moses is like, these are the laws, these are the punishments.
Right.
So if you a leopard, if you got leprosy, what happens?
You see,
and you get
kicked out.
You get outcasted. So for her to get outcasted is like being dead. You know what I'm saying? She's outcasted from her nation. She feels like
she'd rather be dead.
She'd rather be dead. Like, what else she supposed to live for? You know what I'm saying? That's a heavy scripture, to be real. It's like that's the power of what's happened to her, and Aaron's pleading for his sister. You know what I'm saying?
Salaka too. Would you say that back then too they knew that white people were like that's the worst that you want to be as a white person, you know what I'm saying? And then this leprosy making you look like one of them.
Yeah.
And you they were just so low on the totem pole that you don't even want to look like them.
Right. Exactly. Because you can be, because if I ain't mistaken, no, I don't want to say that, but with leprosy, I'm not sure if your hair goes blonde or what. Well, I'm not sure, but to even look anything like them, I mean, you an outcast. I mean, look what happened to who's that, Cain? He got marked. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, they gonna know it's me. They gonna know what I did, because he got marked. But go ahead.
I mean, back in them days, back then, that was 5,000 years ago. Back then, there was the world was pretty dark.
Everybody.
Yeah, the world. I'm talking about the whole world.
Everybody.
Was pretty dark.
Because when Jacob and Esau was born, and it talks about red all over like a hairy garment. That's why they didn't say nothing about Jacob, because Esau looks so weird, like.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like tripped out. That's why, even in the Old Testament here, you looking at it. I mean, that was the Old Testament too, but just back in time here in Numbers, you looking at it like Miriam been struck by the Lord with leprosy. So it's like, dude, she don't even man, don't let me live like this, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But just for talking against her brother, which the Lord has chosen. That lets you know the power of dealing when you want to come against who the Lord has chosen also. You know what I'm saying? Especially priests and prophets of the Lord. Man, you better watch your mouth.
Come on, I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Could you use this scripture, verse 12, in the Jews are black breakdown? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it would be the same way that like when Moses put his hand in his bosom and brought it out.
If you did that, you would have to go to 10. You have to go to 10 to 12 to explain what happened. You know what I'm saying? If you just use that one verse, they'll be like, what the hell that mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, no, it's not what that means to be dead. They're dead in Christ.
Right.
Some crazy mess they say, you know what I mean? Yeah. So make sure you use 10 to 12. But I'll make sure. I'll check to make sure. But yeah, I'm sure you can use that for a precept for that. We almost done. We on 12. Let's go to 14, man. We be done with this breakdown.
All right. Come. Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be received in again.
Say it again, huh?
Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days.
So no matter what Aaron was saying, it's like Oh, hold on. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father be spit in her face, should he not be ashamed? So, okay, yeah. So basically, man, no matter what Aaron was saying, he's like, look, she's out for 7 days. 7 days, she got to go. After them 7 days, she can come back. Now, one thing I'm not sure about that I got to make sure of, I don't know if she stayed that way. Because, see, when you go through the scriptures, it really don't say nothing. I had to get that checked.
With the law, but don't the law say that, that she, like the leprosy law, I think it's somewhere in Leviticus.
Mm-hmm.
In the leprosy laws,
mm-hmm.
we were talking about, how long they be shut out the camp and everything.
Right.
I think, I ain't for sure,
right.
But I think that, you end up healing from leprosy. You know what I'm saying? And if you heal, that's the only way you can come back.
That's if you that's if you born with it, right?
Now, if you catch it.
If you catch it, right?
Yeah,
like if it's passed to you like a disease, here's the difference. The Lord struck her.
Yeah, but you still can get up. Well, yeah, you're right. It don't say if she.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Lord struck her. So, I mean, we would have to go further. That's just a question I had myself. I'm gonna have to get checked out. But yeah, was that it?
Yeah, it don't say.
Yeah, it don't say that. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I get checked out. But yeah, that's the breakdown. And what is the spirit of this breakdown, Trooper?
The whole spirit is don't be hating on the people that the Lord choose.
Don't hate on the people the Lord choose, man. And try to use some frivolous excuse, and it really you just jealous.
God.
Chill out. Chill out. If the Lord ain't dealing with you, he ain't dealing with you. Right. But maybe he ain't dealing with you because you would be greedy for power.
Right.
Like they would. Because Aaron and her was greedy for some power. Because, like, why wasn't Aaron saying that?
Right.
He was rolling with it.
Because Aaron was thinking kind of the same thing, too.
Right. He was just kind of like,
right.
What's up with that? Moses, though, got a point.
Yeah.
Like, nah, bro. And then what did it say? The Lord heard it.
Yeah,
man, that's when you get messed up. And then he sent the angel down there. Man, you know you get messed up. All right. So that's it for that breakdown, man. We go get into this Venezuelan crisis, right? We go find out what's been going on with Venezuela, and it's kind of crazy because you gotta be. Oh, and get me a time check. What's up? 5:50. Okay, we cool. You gotta be real careful how you look at the news when the news is putting things out, especially about these countries, because the deal in Venezuela, man, that have you thinking that the president that's over there right now is the reason why they're in an economic collapse. And you got to understand that Venezuela is like the #1 producer in oil. Like their whole country is full of oil. So at one time, I think it was either during Hugo Chavez, during his reign when he was in charge, or right before him, they didn't even pay for gas. They did not pay for gas. They paid for gas. It was like 8 cents a gallon. So it was that productive, that abundant in oil. So what we gonna find out is why I'm even digging and going to what really happened in Venezuela is because America again had their greedy hands in that place. They tried to set up a coup, and I might have you look that up. COUP, I think. And America had this set up where let me tell you a little bit while he's looking for that. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Hugo Chavez. Hugo Chavez actually was doing good for Venezuela. I think in 2000, I'm gonna say 2000 or 2001. He really started doing a lot for Venezuela. Venezuela at the time, man, the middle class had all the wealth, or the rich, they had all the wealth there. They had these classes there. And Hugo Chavez came in and he basically leveled the playing field. All right. So when he leveled the playing field, meaning that he had like the poor didn't have any kind of schooling, they didn't have any kind of jobs, no trades. They didn't. They medical facilities and hospitals didn't have real medication. It's kind of crazy. Right now is how they were before Hugo Chavez got there. Except for right now, they're worse. Right now, man, you can get murdered just because this one dude got shot up and paralyzed, and he's trying to get. And this is a person that lives in Venezuela. He's paralyzed because he was out with his fiance, and he was taking pictures of his fiance at different places. These dudes roll up on him and shoot him like 3-4 times, just for the camera. They like, give me the camera. He's like, nah, I give you this camera, man. I'm taking pictures of my wife. Like, man, give me the camera. Click, clack, and they just dump on him. Paralyze that man. Now he's trying to, you're going to get a whole bunch of refugees from Puerto Rico. I mean, Slack, not Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico the same way. But from Venezuela, because it's so bad over there. Even the children that are born over there, a lot of them can't even go to the hospital and get the mothers can't go to the hospital and get the medication that they need because they don't have the medicine. Most of the medicines that they need have to be imported in. And what America do, they got sanctions on everything. If you know about sanctions, it's just like embargoes. It's basically what, and it's a sign of what a market of beasts really is. America will put sanctions on you when you don't agree with what they want. So what that means is they will jack up the prices so high that you can't afford it, and they'll cut you off. So that's what they're doing with Venezuela. That's what they've done in Puerto Rico. But Venezuela is, if you can believe it, is worse than Puerto Rico, for the simple fact that at least Puerto Rico can somewhat get some help. Ain't nobody really trying to help Venezuela. Venezuela is kind of on their own. What article you? Oh no, you was looking up. Cool. We're gonna look up Cool, because we're gonna look at who Hugo Chavez was. What role did he play in Venezuela? Then we're gonna look at the role that America played in pulling Venezuela down. And then at the end of this, we're gonna find out who's really making money and took the debt from Venezuela and basically has Venezuela in their hands and is controlling it and is a huge adversary of America, which also down there in the islands and the Panama Canal and all that, it's something people don't talk about, but there's a war right there ready to pop off in the seas, in the water. So let's get what coup is.
Coup. Now, a sudden, violent, and illegal seizure of power from a government.
Say that again.
A sudden, violent, and illegal seizure of power from a government.
And that's an illegal seizure of power from a government. What that means, when a government come in and basically take your country. They come in and they'll either hire mercenaries or armies or rebels against you and put them on their team and arm them and hire them to overtake the government like they did Omar Gaddafi. America did them, like Saddam Hussein.
Right.
Anybody else you think of? This ain't new. I mean, man, you can even look at blacks in America.
What down in
as far as black leaders.
They did in Panama too, Noriega.
Oh, Noriega.
They did it with almost anybody who heard that coup doesn't happen. America probably had their hand.
Yeah, because it's a strategy to take your country. And this is something that they tried to do with Hugo Chavez, and we're gonna find out what happened. Let me get that first article. We're gonna read just a touch about who Hugo Chavez is.
sir.
It should say it. Okay.
It's the biography of Hugo Chavez, president, non-U.S. from 1954 2013. So he was killed.
Well, he died from cancer.
He died from cancer.
So-called.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Hugo Chavez served as president of Venezuela from 1999 until his death in 2013.
Okay.
14 years. During his presidency, he sold oil to Cuba and resisted efforts to stop narcotic trafficking in Colombia, and subsequently strained relationships with the United States.
Okay, that's all we want from that. Now, I'm glad he brought up the cat from Cuba. What's his name? I cannot remember his name. Fidel Castro. All right, Fidel Castro and him was tight. You notice America didn't like Saddam Hussein, Fidel Castro, Hugo Chavez, and Omar Gaddafi. Don't you know all of them had a pact they was working on? Wow. They was working on the oil deal. Wow. They was working on their own currencies. Wow. America came in and sanctioned and tried to, some of them they did kill through coups. Wow. And America felt like they was being cut off and they would be up under them. They would have more power than America. Right. So America has done all those different countries I just said. The only one surviving now is Cuba, because they got Venezuela's going down. They have used this strategy of the coups, and then we're gonna talk about exactly what that coup was. I'm about to get into that right now. After we do that, then we're gonna pull up that next article, and we're gonna kind of find out what was really going on at that time, and what was the whole point of America trying to pull Venezuela down from what they was doing. Because at the beginning of this, you gotta remember, America did not like being on the outside of all these other countries making deals and getting power and money. And on top of that, they didn't like Hugo Chavez empowering his own people. Because you gotta remember, this is the tribe of I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
So again, we keep seeing the 12 tribes of Israel always getting pushed down by who? The white man.
Right.
But people want to say we too rough, we talk too hard. What old boy say Saturday they was ready to fight us. What did he say? He said, I'm your brother, I can fight by you, but you can't fight by me. Last time I checked, man. And he's talking, the dude at camp was going off saying that, right? Last time I checked, when our brothers was going to war with white people, when they came back from war, white people got all these incentives and get you a new house and all this other stuff.
Right.
Our people will come back and they would, and I'm talking around I want to say 40s, 50s, they will come back and get lynched. Right. Not only lynched, they will get castrated. Right. A lot of times when you see our brothers and sisters that got lynched or getting lynched now, a lot of times back then when they got lynched, the reason why a lot of times you see their pants down or off is because white people are so sick, they would not only hang you, man, they would burn you. And they will burn you in the clothes that you fought in war against your so-called brother. Right. That's your brother, man. And then castrate you. That's why I say, man, if you want to fall for the white man, your brother and all that, go right ahead. But the truth of the matter is we need to separate ourselves. We need to pay attention to everything America is doing. So all the 12 tribes of Israel, we need to learn from it and come together. Like Zephaniah 2:1 say, man, no nation not desired. Come together.
So like,
Go ahead.
there's a lot of people watch our classes, and it's impossible for you to watch, the I.S.U.P.K. Tennessee class and not say that Esau is the white man.
Yeah.
It's impossible because we bring out too much information to show you that he's the white man and that he is totally against 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. Because look, and most of the time, you can look at the world today, look who's the victims. We always like getting the press put down. The superpowers, like, we don't have power, man. We're not together. We a lot of us still in the world. And look at the people that do have power. You're looking at Russia, China, America, of course, Great Britain. Man, all of them are like heathens. So you should understand that the 12 tribes of Israel, man, we're going to keep getting oppressed until we wake up.
Right.
And we have to understand what's going on around us. That's why stop looking at CNN so much, man. Look at different news and articles and dig so you can understand the true meaning about what's going on. All right. Before I get you to read that, let me get a little breakdown about what happened to Hugo Chavez. All right. Of course, he was a Venezuelan president. And it was started around the Bush administration. America claimed to be in and out in 2 years. They had a deal, think about it. They had 500 peace treaties with the Native Indians.
Right.
They didn't come through on their end for none of them. All right. Then that was 500. So then they had a deal with Venezuela at one point during the Bush administration for about 2 years. Supposed to be in and out. Venezuela was accused of not helping with the war on terrorism. So they were sanctioned by America. Who else was Tupa Naquan? Can you think of anybody else that was supposed to be helping with the war, be part of the war on terrorism?
Yeah, I think a lot of different people.
Saddam Hussein. So-called Osama bin Laden. Iran. All the people that they want to go to war with and take their resources, they use that terrorism thing. And what we know, who's the biggest terrorism in America?
The white man.
The white man. Your child. Yeah. The white teenage boy. He's doing it as we speak.
Right.
And I found out that little boy that did that killing and did that shooting in Texas, he got mad at this girl. That's what that was all about. He got mad at some white girl and came in class and gunned her down and tried to say, well, I only killed the people that I was mad at. That's what you doing, you mad? It's a monster, man.
Right.
Let's keep going. He was sanctioned by America. He was one of Fidel Castro's strongest supporters. In April 6, 2002, he was ousted in a failed coup. The U.S. singled out Chavez and 10 others in the cabinet. Washington knew we're talking about Washington, D.C., they knew what was going to happen 5 days before. So they planned this takeover. And when they planned this takeover, it was a rebel force inside of Venezuela that wanted to go against Hugo Chavez anyway. And what they did was America would pump them money and anything they need to go against Hugo Chavez. So when these dudes had the money, they started staging shootings. Like in Venezuela, it's like a democracy. They vote. They got some kind of Democratic, Republican, some stuff like that, politics. But their voting is actually better than America's. They get receipts when they vote, to where it ain't no cheating and stuff like that. So they take democracy very seriously.
So like,
I
thought there was communists. They're not communists?
No. Especially during Hugo Chavez time, they were called socialists. He was into socialism, meaning that I'm gonna level everything out. I'm gonna fight for the people. Right. He was what they call revolutionary. Right. He going against the old school government, run everything like it is in America. All right, so basically they would do like demonstrations and stuff like that. So what this group did that was trying to build up momentum against Chavez to overthrow him. By April 11th, the media and middle classes demanded Chavez's resignation. So violence came with snipers shooting at random. They came out in a protest and started shooting people that were protesting. They was killing. And then they blamed it on Hugo Chavez, which triggered the takeover. There was a recording made and sent out to the people of Venezuela by the military group in charge of overthrowing Chavez. The recording was 2 hours before the shooting. I'm gonna say it again.
Wow.
Basically, man, they staged this shooting. They had snipers on the roof, whatever. And they shooting these people. This is video, man. You can find this on YouTube, other news outlets. They're shooting in this crowd, man, and they killing folks. And two, they found the tape that they had, and it was time marked, something like that, time step, something like that. And the tape was made 2 hours. So like the tape was made 2 hours before the shooting. So if that tape was made 2 hours before the shooting, how does it know it's gonna be a shooting? All right, so it was set up. That's how this coup got started. So Chavez was overthrown, and this dude named Carmen. Well, after that, the army ran up on Chavez's compound where he stayed, his palace. This is how smart Chavez was, though. They ran up on him, and Chavez was overthrown, it looked like, by Pedro Carmona. A corporate giant was appointed as president. So basically, they was told to take a cat like Donald Trump, but he was in Venezuela, wasn't Donald Trump. There was a cat like Donald Trump. He had plenty of money, corporate business. They appointed him as president so he could be controlled. They was overthrown by an army that was rebels raised up to go against Chavez. Chavez knew this was gonna happen. This is what he did.
So what you're saying is pretty much like they always do. They take the person out of the country that's against them, put in a puppet in them who is with them, and they run the country like that.
There you go.
That's how they do every single coup that they do.
Look how smart this cat was. He knew this might happen. He had commandos. There's hidden places up under his palace. He had commandos hidden under there. He was locked up in his own house, right?
Right.
The dudes that took over get a phone call. They say, if you don't put Hugo Chavez back in his seat, take him out that cell you got him in, or whatever room you got him in, take him out and put him in his office, in his chair, within the next couple of hours, everybody in your palace, everybody in this palace is dead. The commandos calling them from up under the house. They don't even know.
They don't even know that they're in the house.
They don't even know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
They're probably describing where they at. You know, you got 15 in the front, 12 on the roof. You know, so what you gonna do?
Right.
So they release him, sit him right in his chair in the office. This is what happens next. The White House quickly supported a new group accused of Chavez of provoking it to happen. Chavez didn't resign. He was imprisoned in his own home. Tens of thousands rallied for his safe return. Chavez retook the palace within 48 hours.
Right.
That's how he took it. It wasn't like all these tens of thousands of people rolled up on the palace. No, that's just people in the street. Free Chavez, Hugo. You know, they let him go in 48 hours because those commandos was in the house.
Yeah.
Chavez was waiting for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. There was a money trail. This is key. There was a money trail from Washington to organizations involved in the coup. Washington gave we talking about Washington, D.C. Washington gave millions of dollars to Chavez's opposition. Political partners, he gave 300,000. This is just an example of who he gave, who America funded money to. 300,000 went to a Democratic Union Action Committee. $154,375 went to other political partners. That was just examples of what he sent, but they sent millions.
Right.
They found the paper trail. They quadrupled the funding from 2001 to 2002. So they was really trying to get him out of there. Where the opposition started to pop up, Pedro Carmona tried to get rid of the parliament, the courts, to gain control. Washington backed the armed forces. So basically, man, Washington D.C. or America, they was backing everything, money, army. They was trying to push this dude out. If they coming at you like that, it ain't just cause you ain't agreeing. The key what Hugo Chavez was doing was he was raising up a nation.
Right.
They was the biggest oil. They had the biggest oil resource on the planet, if I'm mistaken, or the top three. I think the biggest. They had the most oil. They were Hugo was leveling the playing field where it ain't like no classes where you just gonna be treating the poor like they ain't nothing. They had so much medical resources coming in. He got to the point where he wouldn't just use oil as a resource. He would take that money and start diversifying with it, meaning that he would try to get other resources. He really tried to flip the game.
Right.
That's what America didn't want. So then he was about to be part of Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and Fidel Castro. Oh, hell no. That's what America thinking.
Right.
Y'all trying to raise up against us. We got one on the south. We got one to the right, to the east. They feeling outnumbered. So that little part right there is what I wanted to make sure we covered so we can understand what America was really doing to bring him down. They went through hell to bring him down. It didn't work. But what did work was them putting in sanctions, make them look like they're a bad guy. And Hugo still needed help from Muammar Gaddafi and all the others, but then America started taking them out. America started actually breaking up this group that was trying to form. It was way bigger than, they thought they was trying to kill Muammar Gaddafi because he was getting ready to have his own currency out of gold. It wasn't just that. It was what he was plugged up into. They was about to form something against you. Just like North Korea, South Korea, China, Russia, who else? Iran. No, they scared of that too.
Somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, and I just noticed that when America do the, if I make when America do the coups and stuff, they always it ain't like they just cooling over just some nobodies.
No,
there's always somebody who got oil. There's always somebody who got resources that America needs.
Right.
And if they cut America off from the resources, America be messed up. America don't got to, we don't got them resources.
No, and they got so many enemies, man.
And they got so many enemies.
You know what I'm saying? Like it says somewhere in Obadiah, man, about all the nations. That John said, man. It talks about. Find it real quick. Obadiah, verse 2. I think it was, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Man, they hate you. Everybody hates you, man. Nobody like America, man. Man, people shouldn't be fooled, man. Everybody see what America is, like countries, like other countries. We don't see it a lot because they program you with just news here. But all these countries can't stand America. They just scared of. The ones that are smaller, like China, Russia, Iran let you straight up. They let you know straight up. They burn your flag and put videos with nukes hitting Florida and stuff like that. They tell you straight up, we don't like you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, you're right. As far as the coups, that's how they get down. It's like that's almost like when you start seeing governments in these countries going down, and all of a sudden they just start hitting these. They start having refugees pouring out they countries, and like Syria, you know it's something behind that. It ain't just because they're doing chemical weapons on their people. Why you care?
Right. It's a resource down there.
Yeah.
It's oil in Syria.
Yeah, and land.
Yeah.
You know, they want that land, you know. Especially Great Britain. Great Britain owns the most land in the world, I think. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's hit that article, man. We're gonna read a little bit out of that just to get a little bit, man. We're gonna be here forever. It's just something I wanted to touch on for a little second. Look at this. Oh, which one is that? Is that the China and Russia? Okay, we can go to that. Okay, I basically covered the other one. Yeah, we can go to that. Now let me set this up. Now, we're going to speed up in time a little bit. All right, now we know what happened and what America did to bring Venezuela down. And now they're struggling right now. And they got a president there, but he ain't nothing but a puppet. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's like another Obama. You know what I'm saying? He just pacifying the people. What we about to find out is Venezuela, America is not the only ones interested in Venezuela. We gonna find out who actually is financially in control of Venezuela and is a huge threat to America in its two countries. Go ahead, Doc.
Venezuela, oil too big to fail, at least for China and Russia.
For who?
China and Russia.
We talking about China and Russia. Go ahead.
As U.S. ties freight, Asian powers invest more than $60 billion. Shipments to China, Russia, more than double this year. Venezuela's sudden demand to renegotiate its billions in debt to complicate life for its two biggest oil patrons, China and Russia.
Now, China and Russia are the two biggest patrons. They're the two biggest buyers. They have the most oil sent to their countries, right? We're going to find out why. All right? It ain't just because they won't buy up all their oil. We're about to find out. Right?
President Nicolas Maduro caught bondholders off guard on Thursday.
Who?
Nicolas Maduro.
Now, Nicolas Maduro, that's the president of Venezuela now, correct? All right. So that's Nicolas Maduro is the president of Venezuela right now, and he ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. If anything, he's selling Venezuela out. Basically, China and Russia gonna be the owners financially, because like if you get a country financially owing you and you're getting their resources, you basically own that country. You know what I'm saying? So they doing the same thing America's doing, but they basically trying to cut America out. But this is something you really don't hear about. Go ahead.
Thursday would arrange debt relief from Venezuela's creditors, sending the country's bonds tumbling.
Mm-hmm.
But the move may also have been calculated to reassure the countries that are among Maduro's biggest lenders, and the most vital customers of his nation's crown jewel, oil industry.
Now, it just said the country's biggest lenders. Right. So if it's the country's biggest lenders, that means Russia and China have Venezuela's debt. And it said in oil, wow, which is the biggest resource they have. If you have a country and they owe you millions and trillions of, well, let's say billions of dollars, and you got in that country owes you the biggest resource they have, man, that's yours. It's damn near your country. You can get sanctioned by America. You want to? It don't matter. China and Russia get it to you. We keep hearing those two countries, man. They tighter than white on rice, man. Go ahead.
State-owned Petroleum de Venezuela S.A., keeper of the world's largest oil reserve.
The what?
Keeper of the world's largest oil reserve.
Is that now? We of course we talking about Venezuela, but does it have a country? The name of the business?
Petroleum de Venezuela.
There you go. Petroleos des Venezuelos. My Spanish is horrible. Forgive me for that. But we know now that they have the biggest resource of oil. Go ahead.
Has been output dropped to a 14-year low, beset by the country's economic collapse.
So now we know Venezuela is in economic collapse. Go ahead.
A global plunge in crude prices and U.S. sanctions. As American refineries, once PDVSA's top customers, have bought less. China and Russia have stepped in.
So now the usual customers that Venezuela deals with, their buying power has dropped. Plus, on top of that, America then put his foot on Venezuela's neck by having sanctions on it. So they losing money, right?
Right.
So what happens?
The two countries have loaned more than $60 billion to boost production there.
The who?
The two countries have loaned more than $60 billion to produce production there.
What two countries is it?
China and Russia.
China and Russia has loaned them. Say that one more time, Mark.
$60 billion.
$60 billion. Man, if Venezuela is in an economic collapse and China and Russia loans them $60 billion, how they coming out? They not. They own it. Go ahead.
Prepaying for more than 1 billion barrels.
So they got 1 billion barrels coming to them. So not only are they indebted to them, they getting the resource.
Right.
Let me tell you something, man. Russia and China are basically doing what America tried to do. Except for Russia and China came back though. And they like, oh, they did like MC8 on Menace to Society. Hey, homie, you need some help? Gloom, gloom, with a Desert Eagle. That's the same thing. That's the same thing Russia and China are doing to Venezuela, man. That's the type situation there. It's jacked up. Go ahead.
Venezuela is too important for the likes of China and Russia to let it fail, said Thomas Only, analysis to the consultant facts Global Energy in a phone interview Friday. Things are getting tough, no question about that. But China and Russia are the backstop.
Man, I want to go down a little bit where it says, let me see that real quick. It's down at the bottom. We ain't got much on that. Take in section imposed. Okay, yeah. Because I want his name to come up. Very important. Okay, let's yeah, that's basically the end of it. Just read from where it says sanction imposed and read price paid. Until them bars show right there.
Right.
So I want you to read, starting there and price paid. We about to see who else got their hands in on trying to hurt Venezuela, man.
Sanctions imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump.
Who?
U.S. President Donald Trump.
U.S. President Donald Trump. Go ahead.
Meant to punish Maduro's crackdown on his political opposition. Helped drive down exports to the U.S. by 35% from August to October. Over the same period, daily shipments to China doubled, while cargoes to Russia's state-owned oil company, Rosneft, more than tripled.
Now, what just happened? Trump moves in and is like, oh, you want to, I see you still surviving, basically.
Come.
So Donald Trump steps in, tries to add on sanctions and add on the pressure. Like I always say, man, it's not good enough for the white man to have his foot on your neck. He's got to have his foot on your neck and keep pushing it and pushing it and put pressure on it until your head come off. So that's what this particular white man is doing, Donald Trump. So what does Russia and China do? That's why I say, man, Russia and China is on a whole nother level. They got a lot of money. Russia and China doubles and the other triples the amount of money that they start paying for. Oh, go ahead, ma'am. No problem. They start tripling and doubling the money that they buy from Venezuela. Go ahead.
According to the U.S. Customs data, a shipping report complied by Bloomberg, but income from those sales are limited because they're repayments for previous loans. And
look at that. So Venezuela really ain't. It's like, man, what's they saying? They robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
they ain't like, as much as China and Russia is helping them out, they still are owing them more and more and more and more. So what America is doing to Venezuela is actually helping Russia and China.
Right.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can lock that back. But yeah, while he's doing that, that's why it's important for us to bring this stuff out so we actually know what's really going on in Venezuela and what happened for this to even, what happened? Like, what's the truth of what happened? Not what the news is saying. Because the news will lie to you, you know what I'm saying? Well, shalom, how about some worked up? But yeah, we really gonna find out. Well, I really want our brothers and sisters not to always be paying attention to the news, and for us to really break down so we can understand what's really going on and what role America played in Venezuela falling off like that. Because it's not nothing. Chavez ain't do that. You can ask the people in Venezuela, man. It's people still, they call it Chavezism or something like that. They still believe in what he was trying to do. When Chavez was in power, man, he had them up. You know what I'm saying? Then you got all these different countries coming at him trying to take his resources. I mean, it's same old stuff, same old song. Go ahead.
Turning to the risky process of renegotiating may be the price paid by Venezuela to preserve that lifeline, said Francisco Mandala, a fellow in Latin American energy policy at Rice University. Russia and China have incentives to provide financing just for oil investment so that they are able to get the oil repayments.
So basically China and Russia are figuring out ways for them to for Venezuela to repay them, which is a lie. There's no way they can do that. I mean, it is, but it would take a person like, man, I mean, they so far in, man. We said 60 billion. That's a lot of money. And then your economy is collapsing. Them countries got you. Go ahead.
Mandala said in an email, if Venezuela was able to successfully reconstruct the debt with bondholders, that would make it more attractive for Russia and China to help. But giving them more money just to pay bondholders is unlikely to happen.
So that's basically what we were saying earlier. Them constantly going into debt with China and Russia is not going to help them get out the problem they're in. Go ahead.
Rosneft said in August it isn't planning any further advance payments to the oil company after providing about $6 billion in loans, including interest. That's
it on that. So, man, what we basically just showed was And you know, it's a lot of sad like stories that go in with that. I didn't want to just focus on that because man, I mean, it'll bring your spirits down, man. Like they got this thing called the Tower of David. It's like an old skyrise building, and people have made it work for them where some places don't have windows and doors. It's like 30 flights of stairs. People have found a way to just stay on that. Man, it's like a scene from Walking Dead, man. It's like people are digging in the trash on the street. It's murders and killings every day. Uh, it's bad in Venezuela, man. It's like, and then a lot of them is trying to stay and be a nation, but it's like so much crime and so much poverty. People's babies dying in their arms and stuff. And man, only thing that America does is basically exploit them. You know what I'm saying? They just like, look what's happening. This is so sad, so they can get views. No, they really don't care. They're not really trying to get those people out of those situations. But that's the reason why we got to pay attention to it. And hopefully, I ain't gonna say hopefully that day gonna come when those people gonna wake up and realize that they one of the 12 tribes of Israel. And they don't have to depend on no politics, vote, Democratic, Republican, all that classes. That stuff ain't gonna help you, man. These laws will though. You know what I'm saying? This is about the only thing that can save the 12 tribes of Israel, man. These laws. Going by the Bible, listen to what the Most High, listen to his laws, getting taught the truth. So then you understand that you don't have to rely on anybody to get you out of anything. Go ahead.
Isn't Venezuela in a? I mean, the whole country's in chaos right now.
Yeah.
I think they have like riots and stuff
Yeah.
going on every day.
It's bad.
It's like, yeah, I seen it on the news. Actually, they had something on my page with Venezuela, and I shared it the other day.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's
horrible, man.
Yeah, it's
worse.
chaos.
It's worse than a third world country. It's like a war zone.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. Like it's.
I didn't know what was going on like this.
I tell you, yeah, it's bad.
Level, right?
Yeah, it's bad. It's like it's almost like Syria. It's just it's not that much of war over there. But the effects of it is horrible. And then when you look at where the start was, like we talked about earlier, America, they put their hand in there and just pulled them down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I think that they're trying to run into Colombia too.
Mm-hmm.
Colombia like right next, right there.
Right.
And they're trying to run over into Colombia. Colombia now. At first, they was letting a couple of them in,
right?
But it's to the point where thousands of them are trying to come in, and Colombia is like, okay, we can't have all y'all. So they're pretty much putting guns on them and telling them to go back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You see, and we see that all over the world, all over the earth. But you have a question? Go ahead.
Why is it that people see what the white man does and still decide to do business with them, to the label? When globally, they only make about 2% of the world's population.
True.
So why is it that when I say we, I'm talking about all the tribes,
right?
We may go. Why is it we still keep falling for the same trap?
I think because we don't have the knowledge of the Bible. Like, if you take a person's identity from them and they don't know who they are, and they look at you, like when you look at America, like if you don't live here, from the outside looking in, it looks like the dream place to go to. So these countries, I think in the beginning, any civilization that the white man has infiltrated and took over, from the beginning, they probably thought it was a good deal. You got to think, like I said earlier, the native Indians, they had 500 peace treaties with these dudes. The white man didn't recognize not one. So once they get a foot in your country, man, they put you in such a situation. Like if you don't know there's certain laws that you go by that you ain't supposed to do. You ain't supposed to do this. You ain't supposed to do that. You can't take his idol. You can't worship what he worships. You can't marry into his people. And then You gotta understand, like years before that, they got taken over and raped and pillaged by the white man a long time ago. So they've been under that same oppression that we've been under. But the difference between us and them right now is we got the truth. They think what they're doing is right. So if you think what you're doing is right and you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you start thinking that's where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be at the bottom. I bet money those people have never even seen in the Bible where it says the Most High said, you are the nation above all nations. For your Lord to say that, the Most High, telling you that as a people, man, that right there is like, I don't even want to deal with nothing. But I think a big problem, man, is that we keep falling for the same old thing. Like, why? Let's take it here in America. Why do our people, like to say in the hood, why they keep doing the same shit every day? It's like the same thing every day. Smoke weed, drink, get high, different highs. And they see us speaking. Won't they do so? Because they've been oppressed for so long, they think that's where they're supposed to be. So that day will come, man, when those brothers and sisters down there gonna wake up. But what the white man is doing, that's in his nature. That's in his nature. That's why we have to bring this out and talk about it and let it be known the truth. And if we see our brothers and sisters down there and we can connect with them, tell them what's up. Like, hey, you don't have to go through that, man. Forget all the politics. Let me tell you about this Bible. You in here? Christ ain't no white man. A lot of Latinos is Catholic.
Right.
They believe in what's that? Mary and all that other crap. So that's a big problem of it, man. Well, they was just like us. It was just like us. It took us a while to wake up. These things that we talking about, that's why we got to work. We got a lot of work. We got a lot of work to do. Man. You got any other questions? Mm-hmm.
He was strange with rules on what's available. Like, was there a reason why we made so strong to put what we can't find? We have to have Christ go back and help us fight. Was when we read the Bible that we was together, we fought other kingdoms, Christ, or he wasn't there, he was there to be victorious over our enemies. The reason why this one enemy we cannot defeat alone.
You talking about when we was winning like with King David, Solomon, stuff like that?
Any enemy we had was able to fight people versus this one. Esau,
we
can't come together without the assistance of Christ.
You got the scripture, blessed with the sword. Pull that for. One of the big problems is one of the big differences now. You talking about like now or through history period?
Well, I used to say a little bit of both. Like
okay.
Say we had the kingdom,
right. Right.
If we couldn't have followed the laws, we still have to wait the price of the most have to deal with what we get with Esau.
Right.
Versus us, we don't have to be
Okay. Now, one thing about it is, in that time of King David and Solomon, our people knew who they were. We were going by the laws. There's, of course, those that weren't, but we was going by the laws. Of course, the Lord loved King David, and he brought the tribes together. Through war, when he got them together. They knew who they were. Then, we kept going against the laws, which separated our tribes, which made us get punished into slavery because we didn't go by the laws. We just now really came up out of slavery in 400 years and whatnot. We just now really came out of that. Once we come out of that, we're such in a oppressed state. We can't even come together. We don't even know who we are. So we just waking up. The big part of that is, he's looking for the scripture right now. I might have to find it. But the big part of that is the Lord blessed Esau with the sword. And he blessed him with that sword because it was part of our punishment. You know what I'm saying? It's just the white man went too far. He went too far. He's not supposed to be doing what he's doing. collapsing these economies, all these lynchings and all these, it's just like he can't get enough of killing. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he's basically like, he loves to kill. And like, he's not supposed to be killing like the way he is, man. And that's just his spirit and his nature. Now the Lord, let me look for that scripture. But the Lord did not want you. He doesn't want us to go to war. Because well, let me just pull that real quick. You got your Bible? I want you to pull the scripture from it's Deuteronomy 23:7. You gotta understand what real hate is. Because hate, like the white man sees hate, like he's gonna kill 99 million of you. He's gonna kill 73 million of you, like the slave trade and native and what he did to Native Indians. Our hate is basically like what we about to read. It's Deuteronomy 23:7. Let me check that real quick. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, read that.
Deuteronomy 23:7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother.
Now say it again. Say that first part again.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite,
Do
for
you
he
know?
is thy brother.
Do you know what it means to abhor? Right. It's like like to hurt, like it's physical. You know what I'm saying? I hate is like when people like they trip out when we say we hate the white man. How else do you think we gonna feel about a man that has raped your ancestors, your children, still doing it now, oppress you, kill you on tape, and gets off for it, and you get no justice? Our hate is come back to the laws, stay away from him. The Lord doesn't want you to touch the Edomite. You see where it just said right there? There's a reason why. The Lord wants to do, he wants to take out the white man himself. So you can see the power that he has, and he wants to do it. He's like, no, leave him alone, save him for me. All right? Looking for that, it's like looking for that scripture, man. Very good. Do you have any other questions, though? Looking.
I just always hear say that white men took it too far. Supposed to be too captivity.
Right.
What scriptures do we have to show that we went too far other than putting us in slavery? Back then, slavery was slightly different, but since we're supposed to get punished, I'm assuming whatever happens was not punishment.
Let's get to Micah. Let's see. Go to let me get Micah 5:11. Let's see what the Lord said he's gonna do.
Micah chapter 5, verse 11.
Yeah, Shalaka, read to 15. Come.
And I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds.
Say it again.
I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds.
That's the white man he's talking about. Okay.
And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers.
Now, you talking about witchcraft? You talking about anything like man, like drugs, all that. Drug empire. You talking about the church? You know what I mean?
Right.
He's gonna destroy all that. Keep going.
Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands.
Now I saw them idols that they worship. Read. They still do that here. Look at the Parthenon. I heard that the NFL is gonna have a draft of the Parthenon. Why? Because the team called Titans. Parthenon Titans. They basically worship that stuff. Right. So that's the type of stuff he's talking about destroying, all those beliefs and philosophies. Go ahead.
And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, so I will destroy thy cities. And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen.
Say it again.
And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard.
Says what?
Such as they have not heard.
That's the Lord doing that. Why would he come and do that? Why ain't he saying Israel do that? Because he wants to do that. He don't want you to move. All he's saying is, come to the laws, separate yourself from this world, not meaning that you're supposed to go back to Israel. Spiritually separate yourself from this land, man. This is Sodom and Gomorrah spiritually. This is spiritually Egypt. He do not want you to be a part of this. None of the philosophies, none of the beliefs. He wants you to stick with the laws, recognize your identity, and do not attach yourself to the heathen. Because if you do, you're going to get caught up in what we just read. You know what I'm saying? You got anything else? What time do we start? 5:30? 5? Get the brother's question. Comes in late.
So then that being said, since once we follow the laws, and then what happens to like all the other nations that touch it, like okay, since he says don't touch Edom, but we'll just Esau and Ron, talk about the Africans and soldiers and the Arabs with the ships. So then what will happen to them? Will we be able to fight those, or the most times we destroy all nations?
Nah, man, we don't fight nobody. He specifically said, if I'm mistaken, in Deuteronomy 23:7, he specifically says Edomites and Egyptians, you know, being that you in that captivity at that time with the Egyptians, Edomites. He don't want you to lay hand on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Of course, defend yourself, of course. But the basis of that is stick to these laws. Your time of going to war is not now. You make your election sure and you become one of those 144,000, you'll have plenty. Where's it what I want those to put in captivity shall go into captivity. Yeah, let me get that. Says Revelations 13. Oh yeah, 13 and 10. Yeah, read that jump. This is why. This is why you ain't gonna have to lay a finger on anybody. The biggest task we have as Israelites is follow these laws, wake up your brothers and sisters. That's our biggest task. We can't do that. Like think about it. If we went to war right now, we'd be slaughtered. Why? Because we can't even come together on money. When I say we, I'm talking about us as a whole, like all our brothers lost in the world. Think about, because see, a lot of cats that claim to be RBG and a lot of comedic cats, that's the first thing they want. I done talked to plenty of them. And the first thing they want to do is grab them guns and go kill white boys, right? Let's say if you did, and you know, I had a conversation with him, and I was like, let me play devil's advocate real quick. Let's say we do that. I mean, we go to war, we kill them. Okay, you know they coming back, right? They retaliate. No war. Yeah. Okay, they come back, they slaughter all your people. Are they gonna be scared now? Well, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so what's the next move? Because like you gotta think, when we thinking, like people in the world think about coming together to go to war against the white man, they not thinking about 12 tribes. They thinking niggas. It ain't enough for us. We get slaughtered, man. You'll literally you'll almost wipe out Judah. You almost wipe out Benjamin off something stupid like that. That's why the Lord said that. There's no way you can go against this white man. He's too far advanced. Like he has his money right, resources right. He has armies. What armies we got? You can't even get five in the world. I'm talking about. You can't even get 5 brothers in a room, come together on some money, and get the weapons, and everybody act right. Somebody gonna get blazed up. Somebody gonna get drunk, do something stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why the Lord said, "No, y'all go by these laws, wake your people up. I'm gonna handle that. Christ gonna come down, get that 144, and man, after that, this gonna happen." You want to say something?
Like I was gonna say, another reason, be real. All he gotta do is white man gotta do is be like, look, I got $1 billion. All these niggas that came together, right? White man just be like, look, I got $1 billion for half of y'all to just go sit y'all down.
How many times we done that?
Half of them gonna take $1 billion and go sit their ass down somewhere, and they gonna kill the other half. So I mean, you know what I'm saying?
And how many times we done that?
Yeah,
we gonna click up and go kill them. Black Panthers, they ain't work. Islam, it ain't work. They end up turning on each other. You know what I'm saying? Islam be in the, okay, everybody's a Muslim, right? You get locked up, they deep, right? When you get locked up, how many Israelites run into?
Israelites ain't locked up.
They ain't locked up. Why? Because we got these laws. We know better. Stay off the drugs. Quit hustling. Oh yeah, you didn't thought about something. Go ahead.
I wasn't gonna be funny, but I was saying, what the head guy was I.S.U.P.K.
What? Oh, you talking about you talking about the comforter, actually. You got locked up? Yeah, you talking about Ty's Doc. Yeah. Yeah, they in there. They on their way. No, they on their way. You right. That ain't the truth though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, let's read that scripture real quick.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Read that again.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the patience and faith of the saints.
Say that again.
Here is the patience and faith of the saints.
One more time.
Here is the patience and faith of the saints.
You know what that's telling you? Say that. This way. Get your brothers and sisters together. Get your mind right. Go by these laws. Do that. Do that. You do that, then your big brother will come down here with all them angels. You get your new bodies acting like X-Men, jumping in the sky, like the Bible say, running like chariots.
Right.
And you do you get your get back. I feel you. I feel like that too. Man, Lord willing, put me on front line, man.
Right.
Put me on front line. What's up?
Sometimes I wonder, like, what I would do if I was living in my community. People say, like, you just walk down the street and just hold got some dogs on
Mm-hmm.
All the laws of the Bible, just about under the man laws of the Bible. What is a man allowed to do? Like, who's the truth now? But back then,
I mean, the same thing our brothers was doing back then. Because you got to think, it's 1969. It's at the end of it. But it's the same thing they was doing too. All they was doing was prophesying as priests and prophets about the Most High and where they people need to go. That's why we say, man, this Bible ain't for nobody but us. This is the only thing that kept us straight because we kept going astray. But this is the only thing that kept us straight. The Most High would choose out a leader. He would choose that leader, and he would tell him what his people need to do. Every leader you look at You look at Moses, you look at Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the way down. You know, all the prophets, Ezekiel, you know, Isaiah. The Lord is talking to them and telling them what to. And believe me, I think especially Isaiah, man, and he was in him, Ezekiel. They kept asking like, Lord, how much we got to take? When's that day gonna come? You know what I'm saying? So, man, you feeling the same way we feel, but you just can't do it. Not yet. It ain't time. But when it's time, it'll be plenty for you. I mean, what's the one scripture about throwing the baby across the rock? What's in their head? No, that's it. Grab me that. I mean, it's plenty of the Lord is telling you what's gonna happen. But I think I ain't gonna say that. The Most High wants you to get the truth. He wants you to understand the scriptures, teach your brother and sister, get that right. You know what I'm saying? Have that mark on you. You know, the mark is not a chip. You know, have that mark on you. When the Lord look into your mind, you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? The mark that this world got believe that Caesar Borgia is Christ. You know what I'm saying? So you stay there. You stay there, because that man, we at the door. You know, it's right there. I mean, we just got through talking about Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that lets you know. Oh, you got it? Okay, so that lets you know that, man, we right there. I mean, look, Trump just Kim Jong-un just backed out the deal for them to hook up. But at the same time, North Korea and South Korea are now joined. You see what's going on with Israel and Syria and Iran. I mean, we right there. You just stay patient. Like what that scripture say? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. That's why it says that. Because the ones that led you into captivity, they gonna go into captivity. They put you in slaves for generations, right? Guess what you gonna do? They're gonna be your slaves forever. Yeah. He will. He will. No, that right there, that's the dark ages you talking about. In Revelations. I'll break that down for you next week.
Okay.
But that's a long breakdown.
Okay.
But all that is, yeah, I know where you at. But that right there, that's a dark ages. Actually, when it's talking about angels, that's talking about you. That's talking about us. You know what I'm saying, at that time. But I'll break that down for you next week. But go ahead, we're gonna end it with this scripture.
Psalms 137, verse 9. Happy.
Hold on, let me get that. You said what is it again?
Psalms 137, verse 9.
Okay, I'm gonna reach. Like,
happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones.
Hold on. Go to 7.
Psalms 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
Now, you know what that's talking about, right? We brought up Edom, so we know we talking about Edomites. Then when it says Babylon, we know we talking about the daughter of Babylon. So now go ahead.
Who art to be destroyed.
To be what?
To be destroyed.
Now, does that sound like they're going to get a chance? That sounds like America is going to be destroyed. Okay, keep going.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Say it again.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Mm-hmm.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
That's talking about us. Happy shall we be when the tables is flipped.
Right.
And we grabbing your children. And you took our kids as gator bait and skinned them and put ropes around them and threw them threw them to the alligators. We're gonna grab your children and bash them against the stone.
Right.
Not because we evil, because the Bible says so.
Right.
Dig? So you had your time. You had your time. All right. So we all good, Aki?
I don't want to come.
Cool, man. And with that, shalom. Take it.